Welcome to another episode of the CPG Guys podcast. Our co-hosts, Sri Rajagopalan and Peter V.S. Bond, explore how brands and retailers engage with consumers online, in-store, and everywhere in between. And now, here are Sri and Peter. Welcome again to the CPG Guys podcast. I'm PVSB, half of the dynamic duo known as the CPG Guys. I'm also the Senior Vice President of Commercial Strategy and Field Sales at Fetch Rewards, the mobile loyalty platform. I'm particularly intrigued by loyalty in the applications of first-party consumption data in the CPG retail industry. My co-host, aka the other CPG Guys, the player to be named later, is an expert in omnichannel commerce, and he's fascinated by retail media and digital marketing. Boy, is this a good episode for you. Coming to us from the left coast after a grueling 2 weeks on the road is my dear friend, Sri. Sri, what's up, man?
Hey, Peter, baseball season is wrapping up, which means the Dodgers, Yankees both will be in the playoffs. Clinch the divisions. Dodgers are one up with a home field bye for the entire playoffs. I know I'm going to get to see you in 12 days at an NLDS game is what I hear. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, but even more importantly, Sri, as we record this, do you know what today is? It's not my birthday. It's not your birthday. You know what today is?
No, tell me.
I think it's International Podcast Day.
Oh, that's right.
And I can't think of anything more important than for me to recognize the most influential podcast host I know. He's my ride or die. He's you, man. I just want to say thank you we're 230-something episodes in. I wouldn't be able to do this without you by my side, brother.
The feelings are reciprocated, Peter, but I thought you were going to say it's a special day because Judge hit 62.
No, wouldn't that be nice? It's very close.
American League history. We couldn't see it live at Yankee Stadium when we were there last weekend.
We tried.
We tried very hard. I tried it twice over, but it is what it is. 62 today. That's what I'm gunning for. International Podcast Day.
61 happened in my home and native land of Canada. So we'll always have Toronto, Sri. We'll always have Toronto. So thank you, Sri. Before we get to our guests, I want to remind our audience that all of our content, you can find it. Just visit cpgguys.com. And other than the swag, everything's free. We've got a really great website. It organizes all of our episodes into topics like retail media, loyalty, direct-to-consumer. So it makes it very easy to filter the episodes. Go check it out, cpgguys.com. And if you're not following us on LinkedIn, are you crazy? I mean, there are like 16,000 people following us. You should be one of them. It's where we post all of our content. You want to stay in the know. Follow us there. And if you're on LinkedIn, we also manage two closed groups. One is called CPG e-commerce, and the other one is called Retail Media Professionals. Over 1,000 people have already joined these closed groups that are talking about these two topics. Please consider joining them. Just search for CPG e-commerce or Retail Media Professionals in the group section, and you can connect with us there as well. We're also on, Sri, a whole lot of social media platforms. Sure, we're on LinkedIn, obviously, and we've been on Twitter and Facebook for a while. But do you know that we're on Instagram and increasingly TikTok, Sri? Are we TikTok stars yet? I think we're pretty close there. We've got a really great series called, I know Austin said, like, doing the head bob. We've got a really great series called Knowledge Drops, where we try to make it fun way to learn about what's going on in our industry. Please check those out as well. And of course, we have two other podcasts that are part of our alliance, the FMCG Guys, which takes the CPG Guys format over to Europe. Our friends Daniel and Refrain talk to fast-moving consumer goods luminaries across the pond. And of course, we also recently helped launch CPG Scoop, where our friends Jennifer and Risa create snackable conversations with industry veterans. It's a fun way to discover what's new and next in CPG commerce and marketing. Visit cpgscoop.com to learn more. Lastly, I want to say how proud Sri and I, very proud Sri and I are, to partner with Next Up, also known as Network of Executive Women, whose mission it is to advance all women in business and to promote the cause of gender equality and career development. Please visit nextupisnow.org/CPGguys to learn more about this great group. Of course, November is Women's Month at the CPG Guys. All of our guests will be women, and we are doing this in partnership with Susan G. Komen Foundation to help raise money for breast cancer research. So please do participate and listen to our episodes in November. More to follow on that, but we're very excited to revive and repeat our relationship with Susan G. Komen. We've done it for 2 straight years now. This will be the hat trick, as it were, Sri. On to our episode. Omnichannel digital is arguably the hottest topic in CPG retail right now, and there's nothing bigger in omnichannel digital than retail media, of course, our favorite topic. We are very fortunate enough to have not one, but 2 industry luminaries with us today to talk about a huge partnership that their companies recently announced related to retail media at the club store division of what Sri has characterized as the world's most elite retailer. Please join Sri and me in welcoming to the CPG podcast Austin Leonard, head of sales at Sam's Club Member Access Platform, and our dear friend Melissa Burdick, president of Pacvue, and more importantly, co-host of our very own Fresh 4 weekly news segment. Austin, Melissa, welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
Doing great. So excited to get to celebrate International Podcast Day, which I just found out today is a holiday. So happy International Podcast Day, Peter and Sri.
Ditto. Thanks for having us.
It should be, if not a holiday, it should be, Austin. We certainly think that it's important to recognize, we have a Patreon account for all those of you who want to pay homage to the great podcasters. No, I'm just kidding. We're not that bad. But thank you guys. We're really happy to have you here today. Before we get to the questions Sri and I've prepared for you, let me start with Austin. Where can the audience learn more about the Sam's Club Member Access Platform? Would you kindly give us a brief introduction to your company and its mission?
Absolutely. So Sam's Club, for those of you that aren't familiar with our stores, is a membership warehouse club. We've got a limited item business model that offers our members quality products at an exceptional value, unmatched by traditional retail. You can shop us at samsclub.com, get your favorite membership there as well. If you want to learn a little bit more about our advertising business, Sam's Club Member Access Platform, you can go to map.samsclub.com or join our brand new LinkedIn group, which is obviously Sam's Club Member Access Platform.
Thank you for that, Austin. Appreciate that. Melissa, would you remind our audience about what Pacvue does and where online they can learn more about your business?
Definitely. So Pacvue is a software suite for e-commerce growth. We integrate with 30 plus marketplaces, and our latest is Sam's Club, which we're extremely happy about and talking about today. Our value prop is really around unifying work streams, enabling brands and agencies to manage their campaigns, streamline reporting, and optimize their performance. And we're really focused on adding more value than what you would get kind of through native UIs. And since we're talking about important dates, today's the International Podcast Date. Yesterday were 2 important dates. 1, my birthday. 2, it was also the 5-year anniversary of getting the API from Amazon that I got that really kicked off Pacvue and the whole retail media network wave. So 5 years ago yesterday, both my birthday and kind of this wave that got kicked off.
Happy birthday to you. Okay, I won't sing it all up, but belated happy birthday, Melissa. You are near and your family to us, and we're very happy that you're here celebrating with us.
25 again.
I know. You finally reached 25? That's awesome, Melissa. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
I thought you started the business when you were 18. This is great.
The one thing I heard, Melissa, is you say 5 years ago it kicked off the API, so congratulations. It's been a retail media revolution. But you also said 5 years ago it kicked off your birthday, so that's why you don't age.
That's it.
Yep.
So thanks, Melissa and Austin, for that. What we're going to do is, to our audience, in the digital liner notes of this podcast episode, you have to write down any of those URLs. You don't have to write down their names. We're going to have hyperlinks to their LinkedIn profiles and their corporate sites the way they mentioned it. 90+% of you are listening to this episode on a mobile device. Just open up the mobile device, go to the podcast app, and click on the liner notes, and boom, there are hyperlinks to everything. You don't have to write it all down. Easy to follow along, so make sure to do that. All right, let's get to the heart of this conversation. Really want to dig into this big announcement between Sam's Club and Pacvue. Before we do, Melissa, let's set a little context for what's going on here. I think given your area of expertise, you can probably educate our audience on really what makes retail media the fastest growing advertising channel, and what are some of the core challenges that brands are facing in activating retail media effectively right now?
Yeah. There was a latest stat. Group M just put out a report or an article that said, retail media networks are the fastest growing new revenue stream. And they say it estimates $101 billion globally this year, which is up 15% year over year from last year. That's a huge number. And the other thing about the growth, in an inflationary and kind of macro slowdown environment, retail media networks are winners because they are more direct response. They're closer to the consumer. It's more easily able to provide ROI because all of these great e-commerce metrics are readily available, tied to a sale. And there's often better targeting than other mediums. And that's something that people talk about a lot. For retailers, they're all, following Amazon's playbook of profit. I think it was maybe a couple quarters ago that Amazon finally broke out in their P&L how much profit they're making from advertising. And it's a lot. And so retailers want that profit. So those are all kind of the reasons. And then you asked about the challenges, and we work with everyone, agencies, brands, sellers, niche agencies, holding agencies. So we're working with kind of everyone in terms of what challenges people are facing. One, I just talked about 30 plus retailer platforms. There's a lot launching. So knowing which platforms to prioritize. Something I love about Sam's Club is that club is like a huge part of people's business. And so that's kind of a really great thing to talk about today about Sam's Club. Knowing how to effectively manage winning strategies on each of these different platforms. So each one launches, there's nuances, first party bid auction, second price bid auction. So there's kind of just unique things about each of them. Hiring and like keeping up with all these retail networks. So we're hiring like crazy while maybe others are slowing down. And then I know this is Cherie's favorite, which is IROAS, proving incrementality. So that's always been a challenge in this space.
I'm going to start a show soon, Peter, called Keeping Up with the Burdicks. So that's on its way. Happy birthday, Melissa. Welcome, Austin. It's a pleasure to host you on the CPG Guys. And I'm going to jump right into data and data asset that actually powers the Sam's Club member access platform. Would you be able to give us some dimensions for how large is the shopper base, the omnichannel sales volume, things of that nature?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll share what I can. As you know, we're not able to go too far into the weeds and the details on the numbers. But I think first and foremost, for those that aren't as familiar with our business, there's almost 600 clubs across the U.S. and Puerto Rico. So we've got this large and really engaged member base. And our job is to make the membership that they love the most. And so with Sam's Club Member Access Platform, we're actually trying to lead with the member. And we're the only platform out there that is starting with how do we provide the most valuable and additive ads experience to our members while also growing profit and revenue for Sam's Club. So to Melissa's point, there's obviously a lot of benefit for us building out a media business from a P&L standpoint, but we want to invest that back into the experience. Because our members is a membership-based model, we have closed loop information on almost all of their transactions, their history, being able to connect the dots no matter how they buy, even if they're buying in cash and they saw an ad on a totally different platform. Because we've got that persistent ID, we have the ability to connect all these channels together better than anyone else. So while I can't share sales volume, I can definitely talk a little bit more about the power of our data and how we're using it. We know how our members shop. We know what they buy. We know how they prefer to receive their items. And we have years of this purchase history. And because we're operating in a curated, limited SKU environment, we also believe that we can predict what our members want and need with great precision. So whether it's the products that we're building or it's leveraging the data to actually personalize that experience, we have this great underlying data asset that allows us to really serve our members better, no matter what channel that they want to interact with us.
Thanks, Austin. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Club data is the richest data asset that I know of in retail, connecting a transaction to a shopper, because you can't shop in the store without using your club card. So what an incredibly powerful data asset to fuel your retail media platform. So let's get into the details of MAP. and the member access platform. Can you provide our audience with some details as to what options are available on-site, off-site, and in-store that brings together the member access platform at Sam's Club?
Yeah, absolutely. We are in the middle of our phase that we like to call the match phase. So we at Sam's Club have a framework around match, differentiate, and then lead. And there's a number of different areas that we're investing into. We've got an incredible product and tech team. So in terms of moving fast to help build out tools for our advertisers and our partners, we've made a lot of progress this year. So we've got 4 places to reach our members. That's in club, that's in app, that's offsite, and then obviously within everything that we're doing with our website. And we now have 4 places to reach those members with ad products. So we've got sponsored products, we've got on-site display, we've got a great partnership with Trade Desk and a partnership with Pinterest to be able to reach our members when they're not the few moments a week when they're not actually in a club, on our website, or in our app. And we also have multiple ways to buy. Now, I'll tell you from a Sam's Club membership standpoint, what we're trying to do there is really double down on sponsored products right out of the gates, because we believe that that's actually one of the easiest and most additive parts of the shopping experience for our members. It's super personalized, and as they're going through our platform, we know that they're shopping with phone in hand all the time. So they're sending us these signals, whether it's the search terms or whether it's what they're clicking on. We have the ability to really make sure that our members can find those awesome products that our suppliers are bringing to the table. And we're trying to make it easier to buy than ever before. So we started off with a managed service only offering, and we migrated off of that platform when in July we rolled out our first self-serve sponsored products dashboard. So suppliers can actually jump in and manage their own campaigns. And then we're super excited to be partnering with Pacvue as our first member access platform partner, just because of the great expertise they bring to the table, the optimization capabilities, and really being able to automate it so that our suppliers and our advertisers can really lean in to take this channel that we know is important to our members and also important to their business. So for in-club, I know you mentioned that. So we've got the TV wall, which as you go into our beautiful new redesigned clubs that are with the bold and blue, that's one of the first things that you see. And we are really excited to connect that back to the journey. We're doing some testing with things called floor graphics, which in 70 clubs, you can actually tie that back into the overall omnichannel campaign. And then what we're leaning in on to help support Scan and Go is, and by the way, you guys know what Scan and Go is, right? It's the easiest way to check out. It's rhetorical question for you.
It has revolutionized my shopping in club and in your sister store Walmart as well. A lot of people think it started there. No, it started with Sam's Club.
Although Austin, I'd say Peter and Sri may know it because we're the CPG guys, and Melissa, of course, knows it. But for the benefit of our audience, I would like you to explain it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that we think about it is that our members, and especially the happy hosts, which is our core demographic, these great families that are growing fast and have a higher household income, they're shopping with their phones in their hand all the time. So that first touch point is typically digital, and also the last point is increasingly digital because of Scan and Go. So when you come into our club, you can put the items into your cart, and you can, as you go, scan them, or right towards the end, scan them all at once, and literally check out on your phone and walk right out the door. So it allows us to decrease, obviously, line times and time spent doing that, but also allows us to engage with our members in a new and different way. And our members love it. It is one of the most convenient ways to shop. It's a great experience. And it's increasingly an area that we want to help drive adoption on. So for suppliers that have Scan and Go offers, Member Access Platform allows you to help promote those and to really be able to take those and in whatever medium that we have, make sure that our members can find those offers. And that allows them to save money while they're also saving time by using Scan and Go to check out quicker.
And hopefully living better lives.
We like to think so.
Absolutely. Melissa, the next one is for you. Of course, Austin just referred to the announcement, and so did you, the API integration. So let's dive into that a little bit more. Give us the details behind the partnership between Sam's Club and Pacvue. And why do you think, what are the advantages for a brand now that you have this API integration?
Yeah. So when we get the API, that's basically giving us programmatic access to the data. And This one was a record. I mean, we've launched so many of these at this point, and that's, I think, part of the benefit is the expertise we have. We work early with the Sam's Club team, and we talk about, give feedback on the API and things like that. But we were up and running within 60 days of getting the API, which I think is a new record for us. So super quick. And that just, as soon as we turn it on in our platform, brands and agencies have access to it. So they can just start activating right away. So this gives people access to search and in-grid sponsored product ads via Pacvue. It enables, the brands to better reach and engage with Sam's Club shoppers. And this is just one of the challenges we're solving for, which is simplifying work streams. Instead of logging into all these, multiple retail media networks and into the UIs, you have one place to log into. And then we focus on adding more value on top of what you can do within platforms. So looking for additional data points like share of voice, doing some additional features and functionality like day part bidding. Things like that are really helpful for better optimization for brands' campaigns. And ultimately, it's back to just better return on investment and visibility into your portfolio.
Let me remind the audience that we're speaking with Austin Leonard from Sam's Club and Melissa Burdick from Pacvue and the Fresh 4. Austin, increasingly brands will only scale their investment in digital advertising if measurement accompanies that. It's all about performance marketing. So what performance measurement solutions are you offering to brands investing in the member access platform's retail media solutions?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I definitely want to say another huge thank you to Melissa and Ree and Ben from the Pacvue team, because it's definitely not hyperbole here that when we first started talking in early summer, that we literally, from the time they got access to the API to being able to launch, was 60 days. And that's a huge shout out to their team, and obviously talks a little bit about how much we believe in sponsored products. And our product and tech team did an awesome job of diving in to help make this happen, because we want to be able to give our advertisers more options and better ways to buy faster. Obviously, Pacvue's optimization tools and a lot of the insights that they can provide can really help take that to a whole other level. And part of that is just getting that real-time feedback via sponsored products. There's such a high percentage of our members that are shopping in the app that being able to have real-time data from a sponsored products campaign allows our advertisers to really move fast to optimize, and allows them to really deliver from a sponsored product standpoint a much more impactful return on ad spend. We also have a higher pack size, so our return on ad spend should be higher, and we're consistently seeing great results compared to some of the other platforms that are out there. And really, from a partnership standpoint, just working with Melissa's team is great. They've been awesome partners in the years we've worked together, and I was excited to get to bring them on first here. The next part of that is obviously once you've tapped in and built your foundation and really tapped into sponsored products and maxed that out, there's a lot of things that we can do with display and media advertising that, like I was saying before. And because we've got that closed loop with the persistent ID, we actually believe that we can deliver incrementality reporting better than any other platform that's out there. Because we have that closed loop, no matter how they buy, we can tie that back to that member platform. And because we see that full life cycle, there's a lot of different things we can do from an insight standpoint to really be able to provide that for our advertisers. Right now, out of the box, we've got a great partnership with IRI, so we can actually give both incrementality reporting for all of the on-site, off-site, and Pinterest campaigns. But we can also do that on a line item level, so they can understand which tactic is driving the most results. And again, come back to how do we target our members in a way that helps deliver a better message to them and drives incremental ROAS for all of our advertisers.
So Austin, just so I get it right and for the benefit of our audience, iROAS is a metric that advertisers can get with you today because of the closed loop system.
Yep, because of the closed loop system for all of our display and programmatic and Pinterest media, we can give them an incremental return on ad spend. We can give them a sales lift, and we're continuing to double down on that.
Got it. Thank you so much for clarifying.
Doesn't that make you happy, Sri? I can see you smile.
That is fantastic.
Well, I think the other, sorry to cut you up, but I think the other thing that'll make you happy is really twofold. So we've got this great platform here at Sam's Club called Madrid, and Madrid 2.0 was essentially a way for us to give access to data to all of our supplier partners that helps them really connect supply chain back to insights and back to marketing. And this platform connects directly into Sam's Club Member Access platform to allow us to give better insights. And what we're focusing on for next year is to really be able to break down the walls between supply chain, sales, and marketing and help everyone move faster, leveraging those insights. And then the second part is we're working really hard to actually connect the sponsored product ads to in-club as well. So we can actually deliver in-club attribution for sponsored products ads. And that's something that we know is not really available on most retail platforms or any platforms, as far as I know. And we have ability to actually show the incrementality of sponsored products quicker than anyone else.
So if I got it right, Austin, the supply chain element for, let's say there's an innovation that's launched, a new product, etc., the supply chain part through Madrid 2.0 is shared so that you can make sure that it's not out of stock when a campaign is running. Is that the whole purpose why?
Yep.
To manage it 360?
Well, that's one small use case of it. So think about it this way, is as you're running your business, you're trying to figure out who are the right members that you think you can grow your business with. What are the different categories, both from a brand level and from an individual SKU level? And because we obviously have a limited SKU environment, you have the ability to really think through of what are the categories that our members are relying upon us, what are they relying on us for? And how do we actually help get more penetration across those different categories so that our members can find the great values across not just some of their core staples, but across the different areas. And if you can go from insight to targeting to results to optimization all in one platform in real time, you can move faster than anybody else. And it sounds a little bit like science fiction or like, almost too good to be true. And it's a software platform. So not everyone is saying it's the best thing ever yet. But we do think it's a differentiator for us. And it's something that we think that no one else is able to provide with the speed that we can.
Certainly not science fiction, but it's a reality today from what I'm gathering based on what you've just shared with our audience, which is, of course, fantastic. So let's say now that the partnership in record time, 60 days, as Melissa indicated, is already blossoming, and people can work with Sam's Club on the Pacvue platform. So how does that look like, Melissa? How do you and Sam's Club work together to support brands seeking to leverage the platform offerings? And then give us a little bit of a peek under the tent on what's next in this partnership. You described the API, but what's next? The API is the starting point, arguably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So first of all, when we launch new platforms, the first thing we want to collaborate on is training and education for the space. One, thank you for Sri and Peter for having this platform, which is really a training and education platform for the community. And that is, there's just so much knowledge, so much education. Like I said before, first price bid auction, second price bid auction, what Sam's Club. I mean, there's so much information that we need to educate people and unlock investment so that people can understand how does the platform work? What are the placements? How can you be successful? So that's one, is really collaborating on educating the community. And then at launch, like I mentioned, we really focus on added value on top of retailer platforms. So we have 3 key features and enhancements that are really favored by our advertisers. One is day parting, so you can bid different times of the day. One is budget management. And one is these share of voice metrics that we have across our platform, so you can understand what is your share of voice and use them as benchmarks. And then in terms of the future, and this is what I talk with every single retailer, just spend a week in grocery shop, and every single partner I talk to, I brought this up, extra data. So Austin talked about Madrid and about all this great data that they have. The more data that we can suck into Pacvue, we can act as media triggers, out of stocks, promotions, coupons, the POS data that helps inform your advertising strategy. I only want to advertise items that have a certain number of weeks of cover, or I want to advertise the items that are on promotion. So when we go to that next level, that's kind of very, very exciting. And it's kind of sucking it all into one place and automating and actioning all those things, so that I like to say spend time on strategy, not in spreadsheets, so that people don't have to be crunching numbers and spending all their time doing that. The machine can detect it and automate it and do that strategy for you.
Austin, I'm sure that we have intrigued quite a number of brand professionals listening to this podcast by the capabilities that Sam's Club has built into Member Access platform. What's the best way for them to start getting engaged with Sam's Club?
So there's a couple different ways. What I'll say is that's also unique about our model is that we are a smaller team, so we typically try and move faster, and we actually partner internally really, really well. So we operate as one team across the merchants, marketing, our site ops, and member access platform. So one of the ways they can actually reach us is one they might be familiar with, which is actually talking to their merchant partner, because we work so closely with them. They'll pull us in and get us going so that we're all aligned on the big bets and priorities and can move fast there. Certainly there's the traditional ways. You can go on LinkedIn / Austin Leonard. You can go to LinkedIn to where member access platform is, or jump onto map.samsclub.com. And really just help us understand, how you want to grow your brand at Sam's Club and how we can plug you in to really accelerate the flywheel that we have going here.
Thank you for that, Austin. I was wondering if we could get your cell phone number as well. Just kidding.
Well, so funny story. We had our supplier summit on Wednesday, and I actually gave that out from one of the stages because someone was like, "No, we can't hear your email." I was like, "All right, just call me then." So
sooner or later, Peter, it's that cell phone number is gonna be here on the CPG guys in a ticker, rolling across a LinkedIn live we're gonna have.
We're gonna be spamming him with all sorts of stuff on his cell phone. We wouldn't do that to you, Austin. No, we're not like that. No.
Melissa, of course, we've been friends a while, and the CPG guys, you're one of the co-hosts of the Fresh Four, and you've been a friend of the podcast, and we're intricately familiar with the value proposition of Pacvue. But for those, you mentioned in the previous question that this is an educational platform, and we still have a long way to go, which I cannot agree more with you, because we started up top of this episode speaking to the growth of retail media in general and the numbers, and you gave numbers of 100 billion plus, etc. So with those sort of numbers and the incremental nature of how this has grown as the fastest revenue platform in the CPG retail space, I'm sure that means there's going to be a lot of new entrants from functions that haven't been represented as of yet. Finance could be one of them. Salespeople tripling down and trying to understand the metrics as opposed to just using the word ROAS and truly understanding what an I in the ROAS is. Our dear friend Gildenberg and the CPG guys kind of flirted with a metric called ROO, return on objective, because if it's truly media, it should be about the objective, not just about the sale. And so I've got the magic question for you. Can you give our audience a good overview of the value proposition of Pacvue and all the partnerships you have at retail today, what that means for brands?
Yeah. I mean, really what we're striving to do at Pacvue is to be that daily centralized cockpit. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you wake up, you check your Pacvue to see, everything in one place. You see, and one of the things about retail media networks is it's really easy to kind of light them up, but then they're kind of maybe POS is over here, advertising is over here. So at Pacvue, we're kind of putting everything in one place across all your retailers so they can see all your performance. And then not just kind of identifying reporting, but actually saying, oh, you went profit. Here's all the things that you need to do. Do you want to do this? Yes. Okay, it's done. So kind of it's kind of the magic button. That's the idea. Pacvue is kind of the magic button that identifies and automates what you're looking to do. And then also being this training education resource. There's so many things. There's podcasts. Yours is top for me. But listening to your podcasts, listening to your Pacvue, understanding the articles, how do you be successful on Sam's Club? We help on board brands as well. So, and I want to put a kudos also to Austin on this. What he mentioned is true. Some platforms are harder to get a hold of people than others. There's sometimes there's issues you run into. The Sam's Club team is very responsive. So that is definitely something to be helpful, but we help the brands whenever they encounter a problem to be able to fix that problem very quickly and get to the right person and then automate it. And then, being first to market has really helped us work closely with the retailers, help give them feedback on their API, and then we're able to be more successful together.
I want to remind our audience that all of the content of the CPG Guys is available at cpgguys.com. And if you think you or your company has some thought leadership you can contribute to our community discussion, drop us an email at contact@cpgguys.com. Maybe you can join us on the podcast one day. Don't forget to drop us a rating and review at cpgguys.com at the top of the menu bar. you have the option to do so. We really do want your feedback. That's how we get great guests like Austin and Melissa on the podcast. And of course, more than anything, Sri and I really want to thank the 16,000 plus followers of the CPG Guys on LinkedIn. We are so grateful for your camaraderie, your encouragement, your feedback. It means a great deal to us. We're trying, as Melissa and Austin both commented, trying to create an educational community here. It's critically important that you contribute to that community development. Austin, Melissa, Sri and I could not be happier to have you join us on the podcast today. We're really grateful to learn more about the partnership that Pacvue and Sam's Club have created around the member access platform. Thank you again for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much for the invite, Peter, Sri, and especially Melissa. Appreciate all the kind words, and I'm so happy that we're kicking off our journey to help drive more incremental sales, and Sam's Club Member Access Platform is ready to go.
Well, Sri, I think we had another winner of an episode educating our audience about a new and innovative retail media platform in the marketplace. What are your summary observations about what you heard from Melissa and Austin today?
So let's take it from the top, Peter. We started this episode by discussing that this is going to be or is already at $100 billion plus, one of the fastest growing areas in the CPG retail space period. Then Austin jumped into the MAP platform, which of course is closed loop information on transactions and history through a persistent ID, and that took on the nature of the rest of the conversation here today. Such a persistent ID-based mechanism allows a data asset to do personalization of individual experiences every time somebody's shopping on the Sam's platforms, which of course there are 4 different places to reach members. Could be the website, the app, offsite, and also within a club. And he also talked about in July the launch of the first self-service campaign planner manager for those who choose to go down that path. Then we went back to Scan and Go, which of course you and I are very familiar with and thankful for, if I can point out, due to the fact that we love tech and we love just the convenience it does of the checkout process or no checkout process, however you wish to see that. And you can actually use that platform now to even promote advertising during the Scan and Go process, which is pretty amazing if you thought about it, because it catches a shopper in the moment of transaction and may drive impulse in certain categories. Then we talked about the API integration from Pacvue into the media platform with Sam's, and the fact that it got pulled off in a record 60 days, which is a testimony to the speed at which obviously Sam's is working on its MAP platform, moving things forward for advertisers. I'm thrilled to know that it also allows optimization of day part bidding, which is a big deal. The fact that you can actually do day part bidding and you can also optimize it, and the incrementality reporting that's now available due to the whole closed loop process on MAP. Then we jumped to the partnership with IRI. It was nice to know that the Pinterest campaigns you can get a level of brevity there that one has never had before, and the Madrid 2.0 gives data access to suppliers on the supply chain side. So when you're running a campaign, you no longer have to be out of stock. But of course, Madrid 2.0 is much bigger than just advertising. But for the purpose of this conversation, that's what it'll actually achieve. And then Melissa rightfully quoted when I asked her, give us a value proposition, and brought it back to an earlier comment. It's all about automation, which the platform does. A central cockpit for growth is what stood out in my mind, so that you can focus on ad strategies and let the systems do the hard work for you. And finally, great to hear the integration with merchant partners, Melissa. Austin, thank you for joining us. The MAP platform is obviously one of the best in the industry. We're glad you came here on the CPG Guys and were able to decompose a lot of that for our listeners. What do you think, Peter?
I think you nailed it, Sri. That was a 62 home run as far as I'm concerned. But hopefully you and I will see that on TV in real life sometime. Very soon. At least
it's happening today.
7 games left, Sri. We're running out of time. Aaron, the judge. Here comes the judge.
All rise. The judge is here. Let's get it right.
All right. Well, to everyone, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to speaking with you on the next episode of the CPG Guys podcast. Goodbye.
Thank you.
content in this podcast episode is provided for general informational purposes only. By listening to our episode, you understand that no information contained in this episode should be construed as advice from CPG Guys LLC or the individual author, hosts, or guests, nor is it intended to be a substitute for research on any subject matter. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by CPG Guys LLC. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The views expressed by CPG Guys LLC do not represent the views of their employers or the entity they represent. CPG Guys LLC expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, or inability to use this podcast or the information we present in this podcast.